Everybody is staying. It's somewhat dry. A little rain is not going to stop us today. My name is Assem. I'm the chair of Indivisible Rhode Island. If you don't know what that is, we appreciate you being here anyway. So our first speaker today is 100 years old and has lived through a number of administrations. Please give it up for Nora O'Brien-Gervais.
Hello, my fellow ralliers. I am Nora O'Brien-Gervais, and I am 100 years old. After living through 18 administrations, yes, that is right, 18 administrations. I have never seen one quite like this. It's time to stand up. Stand together. And let your voices be peacefully heard. We need to tell you this, administration, to keep their hands off our rights. Off our Medicare. Off our Medicaid. Off our security. Off our Social Security. Off our veterans' rights. And off of our bodies. Hands off. Hands off. Okay.
Introducing next, Tuttle, the founder of the Village Vanguard. Right, let me hear you! We're going to start off with a little chair. We're going to keep this energy going. When I say hands off, you say healthcare. Hands off. Healthcare. Hands off. Healthcare. When I say hands off, you say education. Hands off. Education. Hands off. Education. When I say hands off, you say Rhode Island. Hands off. Rhode Island. Hands off. Rhode Island. Hands off. So Rhode Island, what do you want to talk about? Let's start off with the stock market, shall we? Anybody take a look lately?
Bad news! All
Too
red.
painful, someone said.
All red!
We're here today because we're here to fight. We're here to resist Donald Trump.
Yes!
We're here to resist the oligarchs.
Yes!
And we're making our voice heard here in the state of Rhode Island. It is time for all of us to come together, to put our differences aside and unite. It is time for us to support the women in our lives. It's time to fight for their bodily autonomy. workers. It's time to fight for our teachers. It's time for us to fight for our climate. Who's with me? That's not loud enough. That's not what I said. Who is with me? You're going to hear from amazing people today. You're going to hear from union leaders. You're going to hear from state legislators. I'm going to lead us off with one more chant because I really want to hear it, and I want everybody in the state to hear us. We're going to have a chant of tax the rich.
That's right.
Are you ready? Tax the rich. 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 Tax the rich.
You, but I've never heard 20,000 people chanting, tax the rich. They can't ignore us now. All right, coming up next, the Reverend Dr. Donnie Anderson. Hey, Rhode Island, look at you. Started, I want to make one thing clear. I am a minister, I am transgender, and I am a proud queer Rhode Islander. It is so important that we are all here together today, not in isolated groups, but standing together. I want you to look around at each other and realize this. You are America! And by being here today, you are patriots. Don't let anyone take that away from you. America has always struggled with human rights. Sometimes we've taken one step forward and two steps back. But right now, we are in a human rights free fall. And we need to say it's time to stop. This morally bankrupt administration cares much more about enriching the pockets of the ultra-rich than in mercy for the most vulnerable in our society, and that is wrong. I've come here today because I want to say a word about transgender and gender diverse youth in our state. Right now, the spineless bullies in Washington and here in Rhode Island are targeting our transgender and gender diverse youth. They are trying to pass laws up at the State House, and thank God for the people we have in the Senate and the House who have said stop and will not let these terrible laws go forward. And all across our cities and towns, there are people pushing to change the way we handle transgender youth and gender diverse youth in our schools. And believe me, my friends, that will end in more mental health problems and in some of our kids losing their lives. It is wrong. Already, gender-affirming health care has been taken away from the children of our military. And let me share with you what happened on that. You see, we're a small community. We're not a lot of the population. And so what happens is people say, well, for the greater good, we will sacrifice the health of transgender and gender diverse youth. That is wrong. And I want to ask you to do me a favor today, and I'm going to finish with this. See, preachers can go short. But here's what I'd like you to do today. From Foster to Westerly, from Pawtucket to Aquidneck Island, there are children and young people who are transgender and gender diverse, who are afraid and hiding. And when I say 3, I want you to say, you are not alone. Can we do that? Yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3. You are not alone. Again. You are not alone. One more time. You are not alone. Thank you, Rhode Island, and God bless our kids.
We are going to take this umbrella down. Give us 1 second.
We are the umbrella.
All right, moving on. The co-chair of Reclaim Rhode Island, Denvir.
I'm a co-chair of Reclaim Rhode Island, a housing justice organization, but I'm speaking here today as the person who served as the alternate uncommitted delegate to the DNC in Chicago in 2024. I am here to speak up as an American citizen who is infuriated and ashamed that our government continues to send weapons to the state of Israel, weapons that are used to commit a genocide against the Palestinian people in Gaza. We are here to fight a grave fascist threat to our freedoms.
That's right.
But the fascist threat is global. And so is the struggle against it. When our congressional delegation sends weapons to Israel, when Senator Reid, Senator Whitehouse, Representative Amo, and Representative Magaziner, when they send weapons to Israel, they are not only sending our tax dollars to murder Palestinians, they are sending weapons and funds to prop up a leading member of Trump's global fascist alliance. Nationally, a strong majority of Democratic voters support an arms embargo on Israel. 7 unions, whose membership adds up to nearly half of all union members, support ending U.S. military aid to Israel. The American Postal Workers Union, the Association of Flight Attendants, the International Union of Painters, the National Education Association, Service Employees International Union, United Auto Workers, and United Electrical Workers, but not our congressional delegation. Shame. Representative Seth Magaziner has received $90,626 from the Israel lobby. Representative Gabe Amo has received $100,563. Senator Jack Reed, $402,602. Senator Whitehouse, $616,721 from the Israel lobby. Who funds lobbies like AIPAC? The same people who fund the MAGA Republican Party, right-wing billionaires. We need our congressional delegation to listen to the people of Rhode Island. We cannot fight fascism at home while supporting fascism abroad. The repression our government supports in Palestine has already swung back here to the USA. Just witness the pro-Palestine activists like Mahmoud Khalil, who have been disappeared by Trump's ICE agents. This past week, 14 Democratic senators, led by Bernie Sanders, voted to stop U.S. military aid to Israel. Our senators, Reid and Whitehouse, stood with Netanyahu instead. Our fight for freedom here is linked to the fight for freedom everywhere, very much including the struggle to liberate Palestine. Fight fascism, free Palestine. Thank you, Rhode Island.
As we move forward, we have a couple of tenants who have fought for their rights. So I'd like to bring up now Mel Potter from Reclaim Rhode Island.
Good afternoon, Rhode Island. I'm a tenant leader and an activist with the housing justice organization Reclaim Rhode Island. Last year, I became a leader of this state's first private market tenants union. I organized a union with my neighbors because my apartment was unlivable. A 10-foot trench appeared below my front door with no warning and remained there for 6 months. This was the third winter in a row that I've had that my heat has not worked when it's below freezing outside. I can see sunlight through cracks in my bedroom and living room walls. Asking the landlord for repairs didn't work. Calling code didn't work. I organized a union with my neighbors so we could get safe housing for the rent we pay every month. My slumlord treats us tenants like Donald Trump treats all working class people in America. These are greedy, rich people who don't care about our well-being. They just care about making money. Over the past 5 years, rent has increased almost 35% in Providence. The housing crisis is a political choice. Landlords can raise our rent through the roof and kick us out of our apartments when we complain because politicians let them. We can't stop them by ourselves. The only way to stop them is to organize together. Fight back and change the law. And the place we have to start organizing together is right here in our towns and cities. It's not just Washington where big business runs the show. We have the same problem right here in Rhode Island. We deserve better than Trump's MAGA America in Rhode Island, and we have to build it. We need to fight to win rent stabilization so there are limits to how high a landlord can raise our rents. We need the government to build mixed income public housing that's available for every Rhode Islander who needs and wants it. And we need you to join our fight for just cause eviction. That's our top priority in the State House right now. Just cause eviction protections will make it so that landlords can't kick you out for no reason. And it's not enough to help people once they're already on the streets. We need this law to stabilize our communities and to prevent people from becoming homeless in advance. That's right. We can't say that Trump is bad. We have to build something truly good for the people of Rhode Island. Together, we have the power to win. Next, I'd like to introduce Jenine. She's a tenant leader for Atlantic Mills.
Thank you for being here with us today. Doesn't it feel better to be together? We have nothing more important than each other. My name is Janine Bressner. I am a solo parent, an artist, a teacher, and an organizing member of the Atlantic Mills Tenants Union, the first commercial tenants union in the history of Rhode Island. I have had a studio at the Atlantic Mills in Olneyville for 20 years. Our building is currently in the process of being sold from the family trust it's been in since 1953 to developers who would love for us to be gone so they could turn Olneyville into some imaginary new Silicon Valley. Most developers don't care about existing communities. They're not coming here to make homes, they're coming here to make money. And evade paying taxes. Rewrite 8 law. They want to gentrify our neighborhoods because they value money more than your life. Mega rich people don't exist without keeping everyone else poor. On purpose. They are afraid of us and our unified power.
That's right.
The happiest people don't have the best of everything. They make the best of everything. That's us. That's us. That's why we are here. Together.
Yeah!
There is no greater wealth in a lifetime than to have relationships that span time. We, as Rhode Islanders, in families and in communities for generations, connected to each other, and really everyone here, are wealthier. We are wealthier than they could ever dream of being. Amen. We have each other's backs. We are here together to be on the same team in our fight against the people who hold power over us without benevolence and care, without regard for our well-being. If you can hear me and you work as a police or ICE officer or a federal agent, don't become the fascists your grandparents escaped.
That's right!
If you are on the wrong side of this fight and you know it, you don't have to stay there.
That's right!
We are more than our jobs. You are more than your job. And you don't need a time machine to stop Hitler. Things are ineffably wrong right now, but there's no place in the whole world I would rather be than here with you. This is my favorite place because of the high concentration of truly, incredibly excellent people who are actively building the world in which we would like to live. We have art in order not to die of the truth. Beauty is an important function. I am not talking about superficial appearances. I mean, go to the Botanical Center in Roger Williams Park and heal your heart. I mean, in these heavy times, temper the gravity of burden by seeking and making beauty in the world around you. Go to a library, make art with your hands, listen to music, make music. Every single thing in every museum in the whole world was made by someone who was once a baby. Don't gatekeep yourself from creativity. Creativity will serve us well in this fight, in our resistance, and in our resilience. Work in tandem with the Atlantic Mills Tenants Union in our efforts to defend our community by fighting for rent stabilization, which Brett Smiley is opposing. The people trying to buy our building contributed to Smiley's mayoral campaign. Are we on the side of the working class, or are we on the side of people who haven't bought their own groceries in decades?
Yeah, say so.
This is a fight not only for the future of our building and our neighborhood, but for the future of our city, our country, and truly the future of the world. It won't always be now. Somehow, together, we are going to make it through this, and we are going to fight ferociously along the way to protect our communities. It may feel like we can't do much to stop billionaires, but we can be good sparks igniting more fires of positive change. As Cory Booker said this week, less people witnessing American history and more people determined to make American history. Protect immigrants. Protect trans people. Shine your light on the darkness.
Are we still feeling good? We're still feeling fired up? I love hearing 20,000 of my closest friends fired up. All right, let's keep it moving. We've got Jocelyn Foye, the co-founder and executive director of the Women Project HQ.
That sometimes likes to call themselves allies, but let's call ourselves comrades. Let's call ourselves accomplices. So I'm a mom of 11 and a 14-year-old children, and they exist in this state as individuals making decisions for themselves already. But I represent an organization that fights for bodily freedom at the federal, the state, and the local level. And in all of those levels, our children aren't getting access to their own bodies. Adults are not getting access to their own bodies, and restrictions are coming in waves of attacks. Please know, executive orders are not law. Not law. We have an opportunity as cared citizens, as community members, as networks and neighbors, to go to our town committees, to go to town councils and school committees, to show up and say, not in our town, we want to include all children. We can show up at the State House. It's our house. It's the people's house. It's not a castle. And we're there to show, but we need the people power. We need you all, because what's coming is we have a round of deficits in our state. We don't have enough money to pay for enough things, and it's time to find money someplace else. So, where are they going? They're going to the concept of bodily freedom. They're going to Medicaid. They're saying, how do we cut away at what rights people have now? But we need to stand up as community and say, 1 in 3 of us uses Medicaid. We all need it, and that covers kids in schools, that covers families, that covers education, that covers healthcare. All healthcare is healthcare. All education be included. All people should be included. So please join the Women Project. For introverts and extroverts alike, we have actions and energy to do, and we use artivism to do it. So join us to be civically engaged, safely, or a little fun, and we'll do it together. So thank you so much.
All right, so we heard you chanting 3 words. I think it was tax the rich, right? I can't hear you. Tax the rich! 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 So we have 2 people here who are fighting on our behalf in our State House and State Senate with companion bills to do just that in Rhode Island. Please welcome the State Representative House sponsor of the 2025 Revenue for RIers Tax the Rich legislation and the Senate sponsor, Karen Alzate and Melissa Murray.
Hola mi gente, ¿cómo estamos? Yo soy hija de inmigrantes. Yo soy first generation Asian American. Y yo soy una state rep de Pawtucket and Central Falls, fighting for my community. I have the pleasure and the honor of a lifetime to make sure that we continue to fight for this state with my colleague and my sister in this fight, Senator Murray. For too long, the wealthiest among us have hoarded their riches, while the rest of us struggle to make ends meet. Right? Yes, yes. They live in our mansions. They fly their private jets to go golfing with our money. Enough is enough. Ya no más. We need to be clear. Our country does not suffer from a lack of money. We know because they take it out of our money. It suffers from an unfair and unjust tax system rigged to protect the most powerful while working people fit the bill. They say that taxing the rich will hurt the economy. But whose economy will it hurt? The economy is for us. And we are here to tell this new administration that no, you will not continue to tax us and use our money for your games. You will not continue to deport my family, my friends, my neighbors. Estamos aquí juntos para decirle a la administración nueva que ya no más. ¿Cuántos de ustedes van a ir al State House cuando esa legislación is heard in committee? How many of you are going to go and support this legislation? Myself and the senator, we continue to fight at the State House, but we need your help. When this legislation comes up, I hope to see the State House full, the same way we see all of them come, and make sure that we don't pass legislation that will continue to hurt our communities. I hope to see all of you there. I am honored to represent the community in this state. And I'm even more honored to continue to have this fight, not only with my colleague and my sister in this, but with the Revenue for Rhode Island Coalition. Economic Progress Institute is doing the work. Make sure you check them out. Make sure that you are informed. Make sure that we see you at the State House when this bill comes up. And now it is my pleasure to introduce my sister in this fight, my colleague from Woonsocket, Senator Melissa Murray.
Thank you so much, Rep. Alzate, for being in this fight for me. Let's give it up for Rep. Alzate. She's amazing. So there are so many things that I could speak about right now. The preposterous plan to dismantle the Department of Education, the vilification, the attacks on our trans friends and family members. But I digress, because what I'm really here to talk about is taxing the top 1% of wealthiest Rhode Islanders and making them pay their fair share. The wealthiest have been benefiting from state and federal tax cuts for decades. And we know they're going to get even more over the next 4 years. But at whose expense? Ours. The wealthiest Rhode Islanders pay a smaller percentage of their overall taxes than me and you. That's right. Millionaires in Rhode Island pay less overall taxes than you and I. Is that fair? Is that equitable? Folks are struggling to get by, having to choose whether to buy groceries or pay for their medications or keep the lights on. Moms are skipping meals to feed their kids. Sick folks are skipping meds because they can't afford to renew their prescriptions. Families having to double up in apartments because the rents are absolutely out of control. Enough is enough. This proposal, a proposal that Rep. Alzate and I have been pushing for years, would create $190 million in new revenue for our state each year. $190 million we could use to fully fund a truly equitable education formula for every child in our state. Money that we could use to fund badly needed mental health supports in our schools. Money that we could fund to supplement Medicaid. Or to fund a robust transit system accessible to all, or help expand childcare so parents can get back to work, or help restore cuts to pensions, or help fund free school meals for all kids. And so much more. Taxing the top 1% creates tax fairness. It addresses social, racial, and wealth inequity, and it creates tax fairness. The millionaires and billionaires are not here to save us. These facts and data disprove the myth that they will flee our state if they are taxed just like the rest of us. Quite the contrary, this proposal can help fund the vital programs that everyday, hardworking Rhode Islanders depend on, and that will strengthen our state. It's the right thing to do, and the time is now. And there is something that you all can do right now. There is a flyer for revenue for Rhode Islanders. There is a QR code on it. If you have one of these, you can scan right now and take action. You can scan right now and ask everyone, sign a petition for your reps and senators to implement taxing the top 1%. You can do this right now. Please share it with the person next to you. Make sure every single person here, all 22,000 people, make your voices heard. And thank you so much for your support. I love you all.
So most of you know there are over 1,000 of these events happening across the world. And we've talked a lot about the various things that we want them to get their hands off. Hands up! And one of those big things, as we know, deals directly with our well-being with healthcare. And so I want to bring up someone very special. His name is Jesse Martin. He's the Executive Vice President of SEIU 1199.
Hands off our health care! Hands off! Hands off! At this moment in time, there are 330,000 Rhode Islanders on Medicaid. 5 out of 8 nursing home residents are on Medicaid. 74% of Rhode Islanders on Medicaid are working multiple jobs to survive. If there are cuts at the federal level, we will see devastating impacts in our healthcare system. Hands off our Medicaid! Hands off! Hands off! when you have private insurance, you may think Medicaid won't affect you if you have a good health plan through your employer. But if you go to the hospital, the lights won't be on. 70 cents of every dollar in every hospital in the state of Rhode Island comes from Medicaid or Medicare. If we do not preserve these benefits, our entire healthcare system will fall apart. We cannot allow that, can we? No! We need our local government leaders. Governor McKee, we need you to have some courage. We need you to have some fortitude of integrity. In Governor McKee's current budget, he doubles down on Trump's cuts to Medicaid. He cuts $25 million from our hospitals. He cuts millions from our nursing homes. His budget cuts safe staffing in our nursing homes to make sure that people do not have the chance to take a shower or to go to the bathroom with dignity. We need a budget that preserves these benefits. We need a budget that increases our revenue by taxing the rich. The rich will get their tax cuts from the Trump administration, and we can't have that here. We say no. In our union, we have a saying: when the boss says no, we say yes. When the boss says no, we say yes. When the boss says no, we say yes. I want to introduce one of our hardest working members in our union, Dawn Williams, an RN at Butler Hospital.
Mayor Policino, we see you. You took 252 units of housing from the people, Johnston. We see you, Mayor Policino.
Thank you. Dawn Williams, nurse from Butler Hospital.
Good afternoon. My name is Dawn Williams. I'm a proud registered nurse at Butler Hospital. I've been a nurse in Rhode Island for 20 years. Today, we stand together of members of the working class who refuse to be silenced or exploited. We are here because we see what's happening. We see billionaires like Trump and Elon Musk hoarding wealth while working families struggle to make ends meet. We see our rights being stripped away piece by piece for the benefit of the few at the expense of the many. Here in Rhode Island, our Governor McKee's budget threatens to cut over $25 million from hospitals. Our healthcare system needs to be invested in, not cut. To them, we're just numbers on a spreadsheet, but this is our patients, our co-workers, and our community. Investing in the physical and mental health of Rhode Islanders is not just a financial decision, it is a moral obligation. At Butler Hospital, we're fighting for a fair contract right now, not just for ourselves, but for the quality of care and safe environments our patients deserve. We need our General Assembly to stand with us, to fight against these cuts and protect the rights of workers and the health of our communities. So today we say hands off. Hands off our hospitals. Hands off our future. Together we fight. Together we win, because together we are indivisible. Amazing. Just keep doing what we're doing, guys, and keep fighting.
On May 3rd, healthcare workers will be rallying at the State House for a moral state budget to make sure we insulate ourselves from the attacks of the Trump administration. We want everyone to join us on Saturday, May 3rd, in front of the State House and hold Governor McKee, our state assembly, and all elected leaders accountable to improving workers and our healthcare system.
We've got two more. Can we hang on for two more? I figured the answer was yes. You're already here, right? So, we'd like to welcome Sophia Wright from AMOR.
Thank you, everybody. Every important march that's ever happened in Rhode Island happened in the rain, am I right? My name is Sophia Wright. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm coming from you from the Alliance to Mobilize Our Resistance. AMOR was founded in 2017 as a response to the attack on the immigrant community across this country to defend our immigrant community here in Rhode Island. Right now, AMOR is fighting to shut down ICE at the Wyatt Detention Center in Central Falls. And we need you to tell folks at the Wyatt, folks at the State House, folks everywhere that ICE detention is inhumane, is against the human rights of our people and every people everywhere. Free them all! As of November of 2024, the number of people in ICE detention at the Wyatt nearly doubled. That's before Trump was inaugurated. Right now in January, 110 ICE detainees were counted. That brings the total population at the Wyatt to 701 people. The Wyatt has a long history of medical neglect, even leading to the death of a detainee in 2008 named Jason, who died as a result of cancer that went untreated, even when he told COs that he had back pain.
Shame!
They accused him of faking his pain, and he died. In 2008, the ICE contract ended, but in 2019, under the Trump administration, it opened again. Right now, the Wyatt Detention Center has an ICE contract only because of a lawsuit by the investors against the city of Central Falls. This just is another example of for-profit detention happening in our country against our will and against the interests of the people. Detention centers and prisons are collaborating with ICE to profit off of the suffering of our communities. They are a business where everything costs money. Phone calls, nutritional food, soap, toothpaste, hygiene products, you name it, it costs money, and immigrants are bearing the burden of that cost. In recent weeks, we've watched members of our community here in Rhode Island snatched off the streets and detained at the Wyatt. These are people who are heads of household who now are a cost. Our city and our government are paying for people who could be supporting their families to be detained. $180 a night. You'd think with $180 they'd be getting treated well, right? But no. They are guaranteed nothing, and they are just made to fend for themselves in ICE detention, to beg for phone calls, and to withstand the racism and xenophobia that they're facing from the guards at the Wyatt Detention Center. Right now, we're trying to fight for legislation to end the ICE contract at the Wyatt and prevent any other ICE contracts here in Rhode Island. House Bill 5724 is being heard at the Senate at the House Judiciary Committee this Thursday, April 10th at 4 p.m. and we would like for you to show up and say no to ICE detention in Rhode Island. This community hasn't sat still when our families have been under attack. The AMOR network and other folks have been organizing to defend and respond by setting up a deportation defense line. That's 401-675-1414. If you see ICE in your community, we want you to call that number.
Say it again.
That's 401-675-1414. 401-675-1414. Remember that number. And we need our community to show up. When we hear that ICE is somewhere, we want to be able to mobilize and say, no, we will not let you take our families without bearing witness, without saying that we will fight back and we will resist. And of course, finally, we're organizing the Community Fund for ICE detainees. What is that? It's a fund that if we can get $40 a month, we can, from 90 people, we can give every single person in detention at the Wyatt funds to be able to communicate with their families, to communicate with their attorneys, to communicate and to access and pay for things like toothpaste, shampoo, soap, conditioner, right? When people can't eat because they're not providing culturally appropriate or religiously specific food, they can buy their food from the commissary. When they're not being provided with clean and hygienic products, they can buy them, right? And so with your support, the Community Fund for ICE detainees, we can make sure to give folks in detention right now access to the financial resources that they need to be able to survive this traumatic experience, right? That nobody should go through. And finally, I just want to say one of the things that I've seen and we've heard from folks who've been calling our detention support line and from communications from inside of the Wyatt right now, we've seen people, their lives thrown around, right? We've seen 40 people transferred into the Wyatt from prison, into the Wyatt from Plymouth County Detention Center. We've seen folks sent and transferred from the Wyatt Detention Center in Central Falls to Berlin, New Hampshire, right, in the middle of the woods, with no previous notice and no guarantees that they'll have access to their families. This is what's happening right now in this country. People are being disappeared into an unjust immigration system. And that's why I'm here to say together with you all that we need to abolish ICE. We need to shut down the Wyatt. And we need to free them all. Thank you so much.
I'm the last one. Before I give my comments, thank you to Extraordinary Rendition Band, to Undertow, to our incredible ASL interpreters, Macy and Corinne, to all the organizations that helped co-sponsor this, and to each and every one of you for showing up. What a crowd! Our collective power, the very thing that drives a functioning society forward, cannot be understated, nor can it be underestimated. Today is but another reminder that there are more of us out there that believe in a greater America and that are true patriots, because we will hold this country, this state, and our elected leaders to account every time. I started my career, one of many that I've had, teaching in a Title I school in Northeast DC. I worked with brilliant young students who were persistently subjected to the remnants of redlining in this country. Students who relied on the school to feed them, who relied on public transport to get them to and from school, and who cherished playing on safe fields like Morley Field, breathing cleaner air, and getting a chance at being successful at whatever they could dream up. I was part of a powerful teachers' union and learned quickly the power of collective bargaining and worker protection. I would not have been able to get that job, though, if it weren't for the Department of Education. You see, in 2009, in the midst of the financial crisis, my mom got laid off. She was a single mom, an immigrant, and was working 2 jobs to make ends meet. We simply didn't have enough, and I got an emergency Pell Grant from the federal government to finish college. Without that Pell Grant, I'm not standing here today. And now that it's raining even harder, we're going to skip ahead. We need our elected officials, especially this Trump administration, Elon Musk, to remember what we all learned in kindergarten. Keep your hands to yourself. Mind your own damn business. And for good measure, don't run with scissors, it has to be said. Hands off our futures. Hands off our bodies. Hands off our money. Hands off our neighbors. Hands off our schools. Hands off our dreams. Hands off the United States of America. This country has never been perfect, nor will it ever be. But one thing is for damn sure. This country is better than this. The people are better than this. We are better than this. But my friends, there's one thing I want to leave you with. Hope may be our state motto, but hope is not a strategy. We ought to tell them hands off, and we have to be hands on to protect our own future. The word no is a complete sentence. So we got 3 things that you got to do next, because it's about what we do next. Today was great, but if we all go home happy, we haven't done enough. Number one, and I'll repeat this a couple times. I was a teacher, right? We need you to go to Indivisible Rhode Island, so the whole thing's spelled out. IndivisibleRhodeIsland.org. Sign up for our mailing list. You will know when things are happening because we send out copious reminders about everything. So when we talked about Jesse and SEIU going to the governor, going to the State House, we will help you remember that. IndivisibleRhodeIsland.org. This Wednesday, there is a bill on taxing billionaires' second homes. This Wednesday at the State House, room 35. Show up. Show up. Remember, you've got to be hands-on to get their hands off. On April 25th, we are going to hear from the bands. We are going to have community aid. April 25th, we pull together and we fight for our community together. Mark your calendar right now. April 25th, Water Place Park. All right, and the last thing, so you've subscribed to Indivisible. You're going to show up on Wednesday. You're going to come on the 25th. Please, please, and this is very important, clean up after yourselves here. Leave no trace. Be safe getting home. Take care of each other. And put your hands on to get their hands off.